Dr. Maury, how is the lily a symbol for a psychological healthy person?
Yes, it's very interesting. At the cover of the book, The Abode of Love, a lot of people ask about it. What is that kind of flower that's on the cover of the book? It is actually a lily. And I was meditating upon that, and it's interesting that in Scripture it says, think of the lily. Lilies do not sow or reap, but God provides for them. And I think one of the things that's so beautiful about the work of Dr. Terruwe is that she really understands the importance of the maturation of the human person in terms of dependence on God. That the more we depend on God, the more that we know that God provides, the better we are in terms of the development of love. We rest in God and we blossom as people. We try to depend more on God and let Him do a lot in our lives. If we cooperate, He'll do great things with our lives. And we don't really have to expend that much energy if we're really sitting and resting in God. In many ways, I like to think of it a little bit more as like an Oriental philosophy in a way. Westerners have a real focus and emphasis on doing over being. But if you think of a flower, and you think of perhaps Saint Teresa and her whole image of that we are all flowers in God's garden. We're all meant to be really just little flowers in the sun, bathing in the reflected rays of God, and He can move us from little seedlings to really fully blossoming flowers. So if we love God, we grow in desire for Him, and then we have joy when we find God. And joy is like the stage where the flower is in full bloom and it's just looking up at heaven. And I think that's why it's such a beautiful image, because in counseling, we find that it's really helpful often to compare the client to a kind of flower. And it really helps them as an image. And I tend to use the rose a lot, but lilies are good too, and other flowers. And I think just to look at those emotions, the idea of love and then desire and joy. Those are all the most human of emotions. Okay? So why don't we take another question?